up? It's your time. It is your time. This is Imagine Me with Ingrid D. Wade. Glad to see you. Thank you for coming back. My mission is to inspire, empower, implore you into reclaiming your God-given purpose. Have you ever, I know we've all experienced that, where you've had a friend, a trusted person that you shared something personal, something that made you completely vulnerable with them, and they used it for evil. They used it to hurt you. They were just looking for that one thing to say, I told, something in me knew they weren't right. They were just looking for you to slip up, to make them feel good about themselves, to exploit that thing that made you feel ashamed, that made you feel, just humiliated or embarrassed. And sometimes people even hold you hostage with it, blackmail you with it. These are people that you trust, you've trusted, that called themselves a friend. They could even been people in high positions at your jobs, church members, deacons, pastors, preachers. I'm talking about mismanaging moments. Mismanaging a moment where you could have helped, but you hurt. I'm talking about mishandling moments. And when we look at John 8, it's 1 through 11, but I'm going to summarize this to give you the meat and the potatoes. Here this woman is. She's caught in adultery, the very act of adultery. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the Pharisees and the scribes. Normally it's the Pharisees and the scribes, this particular caption of scripture talks about the Pharisees and the scribes. These are ones who interpret the scriptures. These are the ones that teach the scripture. These are the ones that know it backwards and forwards. The Pharisees are the elite, prominent, prestigious, the higher echelon of righteousness, of upholding righteousness, because they live so righteously, even though God may have saved them from the same things that they want to condemn this woman for. So these are people that hold the law. They are strict disciplines of the law. And actually, they honor and they value the law more than they value and honor Jesus' worth. She was caught in the act of adultery, and she was brought before Jesus in the temple, the sanctuary, the safe place of where you're supposed to be able to let down and let all of your weaknesses, all your personal stuff out and not be exposed or used against you. But in this case, they take her to that place in front of the crowd, because Jesus was teaching a crowd of people there. And they wanted her to be executed. They wanted her to be stoned, or at least they wanted Jesus to make a decision as to how he should handle it, because they wanted to know how he was going to handle it, because they wanted to catch him up. Are you going to say stoner? Because if you say stoner, you know the Roman law says the Jews can't execute. Or are you going to let her get away with it? And if you let her get away with it, then you're not following the law. So they try to catch him in a rock in a hard place. You know how, friends, they made it safe for you to divulge your intimate stuff, and then they put you in a rock in a hard place, have you doing stuff Or because you feel deep down, if I don't do this, they're going to tell my stuff. I'm talking about, what about your friends? It could be acquaintances too, like I mentioned. But here we are. Jesus. He hears what the Pharisees and the scribes are saying about how they think he should handle it. And he just stoops down, kneels down, bends down. He goes to her place of brokenness, her place of shame. Can you imagine? She was caught in the act of doing a doo-wop, and she's the only one that is brought before him, Jesus. Now, mind you, if they are so strict on following the law, where is the man? Because it says in Leviticus 20 and 10 that both of them are supposed to be judged, punished, possibly executed. So if you're following the law, Pharisees and scribes, where is the man? Selah. Whole nother discussion, different day. And she's brought before him, and he bends down. He goes down to the level of her heartache. Can you imagine her heartache? The pain? Oh, the shame. It's like your whole closet's been emptied out. All of your skeletons, the ones you drank yourself to death to forget. You smoked yourself to forget because you couldn't even look your own self in the mirror. And now everybody knows. And he starts writing. Little Ingridism, maybe been writing like to maybe draw the Pharisee, the scribes back, like, whoa, because I'm omniscient. Like, I could write down everything you did. Okay, because I know it all. But it still didn't get their attention. They still wanted him to make a decision. Didn't care about the woman. She was just casualties in it. She was just a casualty in this. So he stands up again. And then he bends back down. And it's like, wait a minute. For real, you don't know? I know it all. Let me just jot down. I could just jot down a whole lot of stuff and calculate. Let me summarize. And then he just throws it out there. He says, he who is without sin, cast the first stone. So all you perfect scribes and Pharisees who have never done anything, who've lived this perfect life, go ahead and throw your rock. Because I know you living in your glass house. Throw your boulder, throw your pebble, throw it all. And one by one, they start walking away. He who is without sin cast the first stone, and none of them could throw anything. And he says to the woman, where are your accusers? Are they here? No, they're gone. And he says to her, go away and sin no more. So because he's a holy God, he didn't let her get away with it. He wasn't saying this is okay. He said, sin no more. He's holding her accountable, responsible for her actions. But he judged her fairly based on her heart, because he looks at the Pharisees. You know my word, you know my scriptures, but you don't know my heart in them, because you honor me with your words. That's what it says in Mark 7:6. But you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. Because if you read me and you want to know me, and if you say you know me on this elite level, you know I'm love, I'm grace, I'm mercy. But all you want is evil and wickedness and to undermine, cause more heartache, cause more pain at anyone's expense. Thank God for Jesus, for being a secret keeper, for never using your vulnerabilities, never mismanaging the moments that he has, in moments where they could have shown them, not only do I know the word, but I live it. I'm talking about the Pharisees and the scribes mismanaging moments. Jesus will never mismanage your moments. He will never cause you more heartache and pain. You can trust him with your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses, because he is love. This is imagine me, because he imagines you. He doesn't see you and your actions or your behaviors. He sees you as the masterpiece that he created. Imagine me with Ingrid D. Wade. God bless.